Schmitty B Gaming here, and in the video today, I want to talk about NBA 2K26. Since I know the finals already happened, it's off season, and I figure a few more months and 2K26 is coming out. So I just want to discuss some things that I'd like to see. Some will be what's not realistic, and then some other things that I think are realistic, or maybe they've been in the mode and they took it out for some stupid reason. I don't know, and bring it back. So yeah, this along with Stadium Creator in the show, my two favorite sports modes, the two best things that have happened to sports games: NBA myEras and the Stadium Creator. So as you can see, they've been doing the same thing, just by an era. Like, it's only a year you can start. I'd love to see where you could just pick any year to start. I don't know how realistic that's going to be. I think it would just take effort just putting the rosters together, but I think it's doable. Otherwise, a couple eras I see realistically. First, let me go into the rosters, because so we could talk about eras before the Magic and Bird. So I know every year they usually have like the 60s Celtics, because I think the era I would like to see in everybody else, is, the Bill Russell era, Wilt Chamberlain too, 60s. The problem is Bill Russell isn't in the game anymore, because they always have that there. I'll even go over to the all-time Celtics. Yeah, because I found out about this bad news this year. Saw an article online. I was like, oh no, Russell's not in the game. So, yeah, if he's not in it, that's not good news for them putting, that era. I mean, hopefully they can get his rights back in. There's also the 70s era. You'd probably call it the Kareem era. Started 1970, whatever. I don't know what the issue is, if they don't have enough player rights, or maybe it could be the team names, because I know the Clippers were the Buffalo Braves, and there's I don't know if there's a licensing issue. I don't know. That could be something, or if there's just not enough players, or if there's a problem with coding. I know the 3-point line wasn't around then, so I don't know if that's a problem. I don't know, because that would be cool. I'd like to play, without 3-point line. That would make the game interesting, So back on this screen. So, I mean, if we're not able to get a Bill Russell era, or Kareem era, I think the realistic eras, I think that could be added. I think the top one would be the Duncan era. I think they would put it, about 2006, 2007 season, when they were about to win, 3 championships in 5 years. I think that makes the most sense. That one would actually make more sense, I think, if you were able to start in the off season. That's one of the wish lists. I know that when you did the modern era, you used to be able to start from the off season. So I think that'd be a cool feature too, if they would add that. But yeah, I think the Duncan era, you could have, I think, because you got one of the most important draft classes, where a big what if scenario, if Portland has the number 1 pick, and then, the Supersonics second, when it was Durant and Oden between those two. So I think that's a big, what if in the NBA, that kind of scenario. So, and then I think a second one, I think that's possible, because I think it's too early to add another era after the Steph era. I think it'd be called the International era, with Joker and, Luka and Giannis, and, all these, these good players are coming internationally now. I think that's the next era. I think it's a little too soon, though. I don't think they'll add it But I think another possibility for an era, kind of controversial, would be the Hakeem era. And I would put it, probably right after they won that first championship, Houston. And here's where it gets controversial is because, Jordan's out of basketball, he's playing baseball, is you have the rosters where he's not in it. So it's kind of a what if scenario, like what if Jordan doesn't return to basketball, like how's, the league look? It's obviously the balance, it's balanced out more, it's going to have different championships. How many does Houston win in a row, or does the Jazz win? Do the Knicks win? Do the Supersonics win? That would be interesting. Yeah, because obviously, other than that, obviously get as many legends, as many player rights as they can. I'm not getting my hopes up for Barkley or Rasheed Wallace being in the game. I don't know why Reggie Miller doesn't want to be in the game. But, yeah, anyway, it's just been a fantastic mode. I appreciate all the players they've gotten in the game already. It's just, come on. These players have made so much money playing, and 2K's got so much money. It's like, come on, let's come to terms. Get in the game, And hopefully this one rumor isn't right where I heard, Kobe Bryant might not be in the game next year. I don't know if that's true or not. I really hope not, because that would be bad. Obviously, they would probably change it to the Duncan era. So that's honestly my prediction on which era is going to be added, is the Duncan era. So a few more things I would like to add is, real players or not, just like an indicator, Let me go to the roster for that. All right, so I picked the 1984 one. Since this is before my time, so obviously I know, Jordan, Elijah Stockton, And then obviously, this guy, whoever Ted Garnett is, that's a fake player. I'd like to have some sort of indication, if 2K could just put, real player, even if it's obvious, That way we just know the fake players from the real players. Just some sort of indication on that. And then I'll go to the roster for another thing I'd like to see. Okay, so I'm in the Kobe era roster. And I feel like when I've done these sims, the most realistic one for results has been the Bird and Magic. It's usually the Lakers or the Celtics that win. Sometimes 76ers win. And then Detroit wins later on. So it's the results are realistic. And that's the way it should be. This is, because this is different than your normal sim game, because, sports games normally they're used to just, trying to predict who's going to be the best team, But this one is we know who wins, so I feel like there's a way to do the sim different, because we already know who's going to win, My bad, I keep hitting the wrong button. So one of the examples, I know one of the teams that doesn't do as well in the Sims is the Spurs. So obviously it's because, they take Manu Ginobili's rating down just because, they want to be able to be the sixth man, make it realistic. But I think if they added I know MLB The Show has quirks or something, if there's some sort of quirk, Ginobili will have a higher overall than any of the other shooting guards, but he has a quirk where it's, he's willing to come off the bench. So, some players, obviously, they wouldn't be willing to do that. They don't have that quirk. So, if they're bench, they're angry about it. But Ginobili would have that quirk. He can come off the bench and, the morale is the same. And then I know I'm some of these teams do, keep hitting the wrong button. The team that does way better in these sims than in real life is the Wizards. And it's usually after they get Gilbert Arenas. I think Gilbert Arenas was a really good player back then. But I feel like he's way too better in these, sims than he is in real life. And then also, when you go to the Jordan era, it's they mix up the Hornets with, the Bulls. It's I know the Hornets were good, but, and, if Larry Johnson stayed healthy, but come on, they're not. Come on, the Bulls are winning it every year. It's come on. Yeah, you can mix up. Yeah, the Jazz might squeeze in there, the Knicks, whatever. But that sim should be like mostly the Bulls winning, and it hasn't been when I've been simming. It's mostly been like, oh, it's the Hornets or the Trailblazers or the Jazz. You know, they're winning more than the Bulls in the '90s. I'm like, come on. But yeah, I don't know. This is really good mode. This is just things I think could be added. Obviously, the big dream is the Russell era and Kareem era, and just getting every legend in the game, but it might not be realistic. So, but again, I just kind of gave and then the rest of the stuff is I think it is realistic. It could be put in the game, So yeah, hopefully NBA 2K 26 is good and worth buying. This is the reason why I buy this game still is for this mode. So yeah, if anybody's listening there, you know how to keep me as a customer. So there you go. All right, that's all I got.